I talk a lot, and like, you're too noisy. And like, I said, you don't have to be around me.
Friendship may actually go beyond just relating on a superficial basis.
There's the adage that says, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
There are some of us who are not very good at regular visit, but because they are friends,
you have to.
In order to maintain that friendship.
The emotional state of the parents is usually directly proportional to the emotional state of the children.
Hello viewers, welcome again to our favorite family show, The Living Room, right here on Equa TV International. In the studio with me is my auntie, Professor Teresa Madu, and Mrs. Ibe Namo. And yeah, you're welcome. My name is Amaka Ucheke. We've been talking about preparing for the wedding. Yes, and you know the last time Mrs. Namo was blowing hot, especially on the issue of leaving your parents' houses. Guys, you need to leave your parents' houses and set up a home for your own self. That is what God expects of you. And we're going to talk about that again and raise other issues that you need to get ready for as you prepare for your wedding. And also to remember that there's a marriage after that wedding. So don't break a bank. Don't use all your life savings just to do a wedding. There's no wedding that will be the highest. Even if your wedding is the talk of town, somebody else's wedding will come and overshadow yours. So be wise. The Bible says wisdom is profitable to direct. So be wise. Don't use all your money. And don't expect that the money will come from the spraying at the weddings. Cash is tight now. People are going through a lot. So that those usual things we used to plan for weddings, you may not get that kind of money. Okay, let's start with Professor Madu. She's not spoken to us about planning for weddings. I know she has a lot to say.
Believe me, I do.
Yeah, I know.
Because today I'm celebrating.
Nice.
Wow. My daughter is celebrating her 13th wedding anniversary today.
They've been married for 13 years.
Wow.
Just yesterday they got married.
Check me out.
Wow, nice.
And her own pastor is also celebrating 30 years anniversary today. So
nice.
I'm very excited to be here and,
nice.
and talk about marriages and the wedding.
Yeah. Oh, that's time flies.
I'm telling you.
Does fly.
So what do you want me to say? I didn't listen to all these things.
Yeah, but just advice.
But I think like what IB has been telling us is that there's a living mentally, there's a living emotionally, there's a living spiritually, and then there's a living physically. Yeah. So I don't know which one is the problem. But
tell them all. They need
but
to.
I think when you are planning the wedding, since the Bible says a man shall leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, it's already easy for women to leave. We leave our father's house and typically we go to the husband's house. And maybe that's why the Bible didn't say women should leave. It says the man should leave and cleave.
But the last time we also raised the issue that there are a few people that move in with the woman's parents.
Either way, it's not acceptable. Either way, it's not acceptable.
I've known a few people who did that.
So what do we mean by, and that, I think parents should kick whoever comes in.
Don't even accept.
Whether it is the boys, kick them out. Whether it's the girls, kick them out.
Yeah.
Because to be married means that you are ready spiritually, that you know that you can provide leadership for your home, that children can be born and they will look up to you because your parents have passed the baton to you. It's your turn to pass the baton to another person. So there's a living spiritually. But there's a living mentally too. Mentally means that I'm a man. I'm not a boy. I'm a woman. I'm not a girl. Men are the people who do life.
Yeah.
It's men that God sends, go do this, go do this. It is men we depend on to accomplish things, or matured people. So how, if I'm thinking about marriage, am I also thinking about growing to be my own person and not depending on other people? I had a sad occasion when a young man was marrying, and we were doing the budgeting with him, going through the budgets, and we're like, how is this going to be funded? How is this going to be funded? He was believing God that people will come through for him. That person is not mentally ready to be married. Of course, the entire 8 or 9 years of marriage so far have been financially difficult because you didn't live mentally. You were depending on people who would come through. A man would plan and cut his or her coat according to your cloth, not your size. Your
size
cloth.
again.
Because usually is who determines the size usually.
But the
Society
emotional living is that
size, yeah.
I can see that you have cut certain ties and you are living independently.
Yeah.
You are able to live from the beginning of the month to the end of the month by yourself. You are able to live from the beginning of the year to the end of the year by yourself. Emotionally, you are not waiting for anybody to come through for you.
Yeah, to give you advice. Well, people can give you advice, but not make decisions for you.
Yeah.
And then you can't be calling us for urgent 2K. No, don't call.
So
don't call.
you live emotionally before you do the final physical living. Physical living means I can see your address. This is where you stay. But not only that, where you stay is habitable enough to bring another person's child into that situation. So it's not enough to have one small room and then bring another person into that small room. And please, no iron ladder, I beg.
Yeah.
So when I said, are we prepared? I was thinking that you are prepared spiritually to live. You are prepared emotionally to live. You are prepared. We didn't say prepared financially.
Financially, yeah.
That
But
one
you
is
should be prepared
compulsory.
financially too.
Yeah.
Either person who is not engaged in a job has a way of making the marriage sloppy in terms of dependence. These are not the days that a woman will wake up and go and sit down and say the husband will provide everything. It's possible, but it's not the best. Because I sometimes wonder, if you are not working, how are you using your faculties and your giftings to the best ability? Did God give you that gifting and that intelligence to just sit down and wait? And you know, Satan uses idle
minds.
If the man thinks that the woman has a good paying job and that income will pass them through, what does he plan to do with his time? What does he plan to do with his education? What does he plan to do with his giftings that God has gifted him to be useful for his kingdom and for society? So these are the things that worry me when people say they are getting married and they haven't asked these questions and had
And these are discussions that they should have had.
They must have
They
them.
should have had. But we had said, I think 2 episodes ago, we're talking about the fact that people don't have discussions. They don't talk.
They don't talk.
They don't talk. They don't ask questions. And the important questions that should be asked. We even talked about parents also asking the important questions. Your daughter is getting married. What job does the guy do? Where does he live? You know, what is he? You know, you don't ask those questions.
You know, I think I know what they do.
Okay.
They go to places and hang out. And they go,
eat
they
shawarma.
and then they go into dark alleys and get sexual. This is not what courtship is about. If they are out in the open asking intelligent questions and talking
having
about
intelligent discussions
and talking about how they will handle life, because life will come.
Yeah.
How shall we handle life?
Yeah, life
you know?
after the wedding will come. Life will definitely come. Some persons they don't even know how to handle their finances. Their mother still tells them what to do with their money per month, and this person is planning to get married.
And so then their fathers have to balance.
Ready.
Yeah.
You know, every month your
father
parents
will have to send them money.
give you something so that you make ends meet, because somehow you can't explain what you do with your money. So,
or you feel the money you are earning is not enough, so daddy has to augment because daddy has more money. Whatever you have, you should be able to get to a point, like Auntie said, to be able to manage it for a month, manage it for a year, and whoever you are bringing in also should be able to see what you have plus what she has or plus what he has, how two of you can manage the both finances for 1 week, for 2 weeks, for 1 month, without borrowing, without depending
for help from anybody.
on parents. You know, it's even a different thing when you are asking for help. Maybe you are in a situation like maybe health challenge, and you are asking for help. It's a different
That's
thing.
an emergency.
But this one, you are perpetually depending on people. You just see people as your ATM that you can always go to, and you know, if not just money, food. They will go to their parents' house and bring food. Ladies go to their parents' house and pack food and bring. I went to visit somebody in Kaduna, and the girl came to the house. I went to see her mother, and then she came. We cooked and she ate, and then when she was going, she packed that she was taking for her husband. I'm like, are you not going to cook dinner in your house? She said, where is the dinner now? And she packed. So when she left, I looked at the mother, I said, your daughter came here to pack dinner. What's going on? That's what she does, though. Every evening she's here. I said, the man is not working. He's working. We don't even know what he's doing with his money. What kind of marriage is that? How did you get to that point?
Although I would do a small distinction. I know, for example, there's the gifting that grandparents, we get spoiled. I know I'm guilty. So I'm sitting down here and my daughter is in Lagos. But I'm thinking that it is the eggs that are coming from my farm that I will send to my grandson. So that is different.
No, that's different.
That is different.
No, it's different. This
You
is
can
a
give,
gift.
send gifts
You
and
can
all
send
about,
gift. I
but
mean,
not that they
depending. This is
on you
depending.
depending
to run
on
their
that.
life.
Yes,
It's
this
not
one is
depending on
depending
that.
on the parents.
But it also means that this person is not emotionally ready to live.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is a fault of both the parents
and the child.
And the child.
Yeah. So living is, you know, I know somebody was trying to say, if you can manage your parent very well, if you can stand your ground even in front of your parent, you can stay for a while so that you will get financially stable before you go. I don't think that is correct.
I will chuck you out of my house.
I don't think
But
that is
I think they
correct.
should be financially ready
can't be
before they
poor.
begin to consider
You
marriage.
can't have a wife
Exactly.
and stay in my house. What was that?
Exactly.
But you should also go and be in a, like I said,
I'll
let's
send you
know
out. You
your
can't be in my
address
house. You
now.
can't be in my house.
Let's see your address. Let's see your address.
You need to leave if you want to get married. Once you start thinking of sitting down to plan a wedding, the first, in fact, the number one thing on your plan list is where are we going to stay? If you don't already have where you are staying.
And it should be habitable.
Yes, where are we going to stay? If possible, two of you should go and scout for where to stay. And, you know, I was very impressed by one young man. He told his parents he was moving out. The parents weren't too comfortable with it because he was about to get married. But then he moved. So he moved to a very small place alone, and he worked for about a year, and then the wedding plan started. So he knew that if he talks to the parents again about another movement, because the place where he moved to is very close to his parents' house, they might not be happy with it. So he just decided on his own and moved. He got a house with his wife-to-be. They got a place very far away from the parents, and he moved there. So after the wedding, they were to take the girl to his house. So the parents were preparing to now say, hey, my house has changed address, so I live in so place now. The mother was like, when, how? He said, because I'm a man. Now
Correct.
I have gone to live as a man. I'm bringing a woman inside to come and live with me. So when the mother was not very happy. The mother is close to me. She started complaining. So when she came, I said, do it again. He said, hey, I know you will tell me to do that because that is what they should do. Yes.
That those parents also have a problem.
Of course, a lot of parents have that
sometimes
problem.
it's also parents that are having the dependency on the children.
Yes.
They don't want their kids to go.
To go, yes.
Or they are also using them. They are their chauffeurs,
That's
they
another
are their
thing.
drivers.
That's another
you know?
thing, yeah.
They're not
They are
being
their
fed.
cooks.
They're not being fed to the child.
They are their cooks, they are their drivers and everything. I once had a young woman, and she moved out of the parents' home. By this time, she was doing her postgraduate studies, and she said, even though I'm an adult, I'm pursuing postgraduate studies, my mom thinks that I'm still the
Small baby.
Small
the
baby
post-secondary school girl. So no food is cooked until she comes back home.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
So there's a dependency of parents also on the
On the
children.
children, yeah.
So parents should also identify that this is a problem we have,
Yeah.
and we need to work on it,
Yeah.
They are
And
their
let-
chauffeurs.
and let these children go.
They should let the children go. Should release your children. When they get to a particular, especially the boys, let them go, please. If
And
have
if they are
to
not
wait,
going, encourage them
encourage
to
them to go, yes.
Or kick them out.
go.
Yeah, yeah,
They need to go.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
need to go and start a life of their own. Okay, other wedding things. We've settled moving. You have to move. You have to move.
Another wedding thing is when you are planning a wedding, I think we've said it over and over again. Please do not use the plan of your friend to plan your own wedding. Your friend was planning a wedding, maybe he has a lot of money to throw around, so he rented a big hall, he imported his wedding gown, he did all of those things, and then it's your turn to plan your wedding, and then you too want to import your own wedding gown, and you know you do not have the money. Are you going to steal or you are going to borrow? Please do not borrow. I think we have said that
Yeah, we've
over
said
here.
that, we've said
Do
that.
not borrow to plan a wedding. So don't use your friend's plan to plan your own. If you cannot produce a wedding card with silk, produce paper now. You know, just print something on paper and let people look. Is it not just to check the program? What is the next
And
program?
after the wedding,
we
the
throw
card
it away in the
But-
dustbin.
But what I usually think that people in courtship should do is discuss their goals. Because if you discuss your goals early enough, who do we want to be spiritually? Do we want to be a contented young couple? What are the steps towards contentment? You know, these things
Yeah,
now.
these are some of the things we had said they need to be. to
Then
be
they
discussing
influence the type of
decisions.
wedding,
Wedding,
that you
yeah,
are going to get,
take, yeah.
what we will do and what we will not do. I think we were financially literate when we were marrying in our own days.
Trust you.
So we had a budget and we had trusted God that we would not exceed this budget for the wedding. And in our time, okay, if I say it now, they will all laugh, but our own wedding was 2,200 naira. You are all laughing.
Yeah, but that was a
it-
lot
but
of money.
It,
was
it
a
took
lot
a
of
lot
money,
of
yeah.
discipline to stay in that 2,200. You know, you had to make a choice. No, this one, no, this one, this. No, this one, no, this one, this. No, this one, this one. And we trusted God and He helped us. So I think the first thing is, what are our goals? Financially, spiritually, what kind of people are we? What do we want to demonstrate by that wedding? Very recently in our church now, we had a very simple wedding now. You remember Mildred now? There was nothing flamboyant. And they are living very happily. I saw them yesterday and they were smiling like they married yesterday. But I think it's because they had settled on the kind of goals they want, and therefore the marriage was reflecting their own goals. If there's that kind of contentment, then your benchmarks won't be the imported one.
Whatever, yeah.
What we want is a nice, decent wedding gown.
Wedding
And
gown.
then you find that there are some people that can tailor a nice wedding gown to
Oh,
your
Very
budget,
cheap,
Yes.
yeah, to your taste, very cheap.
to your taste, to your
Yes.
budget, and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I went for a wedding recently, and it was her tailor that made the dress. It was really nice. It was really nice. So okay, now we are even on wedding dresses. Let's just trash wedding clothes and get
And
it over with.
another thing is unrealistic expectation of parents on especially the groom. You feel like, oh, especially when we are not done with culture, we place unrealistic expectation on. He has to bring this. He has to bring a bus to the village to pack people.
To take people
he
for the
has
wedding
to bring
and provide accommodation for them in
accommodation
Jos.
them in Jos, or our wedding must take place in the village. You know, when I was planning my wedding, they say, in their place, so he's the first son. No, the
And he may
wedding
have
has
political
to,
career
the wedding has to
political
be
ambitions.
in the village and things like that. And we started talking. I say, okay, if that is the case, in my place, you go to the girl's house to marry her. We don't follow the boy to go and marry in their place. So these are some of the issues you need to deal with. You need to know what are the cultural differences and be able to bring them to a consensus, and also not place unrealistic expectation, especially on the groom. There is one thing I see them do around here. After bride price and everything, I think the church made it mandatory that you have to pick the bride the night before the wedding to take her to the pastor's house so that she will sleep over. And they came to that point because I asked questions. They said they came to that point because when they go on that wedding morning to pick the bride, usually they don't release the bride on time, and the timing in the church is not, they don't meet the church, they come late to the church. So the church now decide that the bride should be picked and let her sleep in the pastor's house. And but we went to pick a bride. We went around 6. They said we should come by 6. We went around 6. Then they said we didn't come with the type of drum that they want us to come with. So we had to go and start scouting for who will come and play drum for us. Then we came, they said we didn't dance properly. Then they came, they said their uncles came, we have to give them transport. We were there from around 6:30 up till almost 12 in the night, just to pick a bride to the pastor's house. I mean, it doesn't make sense. What exactly is it? Tomorrow is this girl's wedding. And then the girl, they locked her in a room and she was crying because she was already ready to follow the people who came to pick her. And these women are just around guarding her. They don't want her to come out. And they were just making, I don't know, all kinds of demands. I think parents should know that their daughter is going to a place where they will be visiting her. If you mistreat the boy so badly, tomorrow will you be able to raise your head high to visit the same boy who came to pick your daughter, and you treated the boy like that? I think some of these things should be considered when you are planning for a wedding.
But wouldn't that be in the control of the parents?
That's why I'm talking to the parents.
The parents
I'm actually talking to the parents. Yes, that's what I'm saying. The parents should learn
tell you,
to
it's our culture.
set the
no
boundaries. Help
it,
these children. Yes, help these children. Set some of these boundaries. You know, I know there was one before I even got married. There was one. My friend, her elder brother was getting married to an Igbo lady. He is from Edo State. And you know, some of this Igbo culture of there's some money they are supposed to provide. The father of the bride carried the money and gave his brother. He says, see, take this money. I don't want you to disturb my son-in-law. Please, when he comes, give him his wife. I don't even want anybody to delay anything. That is a father who understands. And today, the family is so knitted together because they have become friends. You know, you don't use one wedding day to spoil a lifetime of relationship. So parents, please, your children are getting married. You are connecting two families. So you should be very careful what you do to the bride, to the groom, especially to the groom, because most times it's the groom that suffers these things. So we should be very careful what we do to the groom on the day of the preparation.
Break time. Yeah. So viewers will go on break, and we'll come back after the break. Then the phone numbers will be put on the screen so that you can make your comments, ask questions, or contribute to the conversation. We've been here talking about preparing for weddings. Yes, preparing for weddings with Mrs. Namo, Professor Madu, and myself. And we'll see you after the break.
The mandate of reaching out to the world with the message of salvation and truth is a zeal that has consumed us. Equa Television International is live 24/7, reaching out to the unreached with undiluted message of hope through its programming.
You can be part of what God is using us to do by praying for Equa TV and supporting Equa TV. Keep watching Equa Television International.
We are a Christian station with the driving force and mandate to reach out to the world with the gospel of salvation and truth through programming and soul-lifting events.
You can join on this mandate. Let's spread the gospel of truth and salvation to the world. Pray for Equa Television. Support Equa Television. Keep watching Equa Television.
Sharing with the world the message of truth to help people come to the saving knowledge of our Lord and King, Jesus Christ, as well as find solace in Him.
From sermon, theology, undiluted biblical principles to Christian music and drama that aims to give hope, peace, strength, happiness, as well as strengthen the faith of those who diligently seek Jesus Christ.
Hello viewers, welcome back from the break. We've been here at the living room, Equa Television International, talking about preparing for wedding. We've talked about preparing for your marriage, but we're talking about preparing for your wedding, though marriage things have still been coming up. And I've been here talking with Mrs. Namo and Professor Madu, and they've been blowing hot about things that we need to do. We're still going to talk about planning and how to make sure that your plan works with your budget and due dates and stuff like that. Mrs. Madu will lead that conversation. But before we talk about that plan, I want to talk about wedding clothes.
Yes.
Because that's a problem.
Yes, yes.
So our number is on the screen, viewers. So you can call us to contribute to the conversation, ask questions, or just say something. So I want us to talk about these wedding clothes. Both for the bride, the groom, the bridesmaids. Some of the clothes people wear now, even me as a woman, I can't even look at those girls, what they wear. I feel embarrassed. When I see them, I bend my head and what's going on? And as Christians, how should we dress for our weddings?
I don't understand why I have to expose part of my body in a wedding dress. It doesn't make me finer. It doesn't. You know, I was going for a send-forth, and there was a wedding in the same venue. So we had to pass through the back of the wedding to get to the send-forth place. And the bride and the groom were sitting and backing the place I had to pass. When I got there, I saw the bride's dress. I could not help it. I screamed. I said, Jesus. And people turned and looked at me because I don't understand. What was this girl wearing? She was wearing a dress. I think the only hair was covered. The whole of the back was open. The whole of this place was open. What exactly are you trying to portray? I think this wedding dress, we need to work on them. I don't understand why you want to expose part of your wedding as a wedding, as does it make you look more pretty? I don't understand it. I think it is wrong as a Christian for you to expose any part. I'm not asking you to wear turtleneck, no. But there are dresses you can wear.
Oh, it can be
very beautiful and nice dresses you can wear. Long, you know, some of them, they will now wear the long dress and they will slit it from down to their
up to the pants line.
And you do, I don't know. And the bridesmaid,
Okay, sir.
Okay.
My own is questions I want to ask, sir.
Please, can you tell us your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Saudu. I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay,
Wow.
sir. Wow.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you. I want to ask questions. My question is this. There's a girl that I'm dating for marriage and we're preparing for wedding, but her uncles are making things very difficult for me. They say because I'm from the north and the girl she's from Ibadan. So they were even calling me Hausas. They say Hausa people, they don't take care of wives. And I tried to let them know that Northerners were not like that. But we even prepared for introduction, but some of our uncles now, they are still saying no. So I don't know what would be your advice.
I'm sorry for laughing.
Yeah.
But because we've gone your way too. But
So she's from Ibadan Me, I'm from Nasarawa. I'm from Lafia.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, actually. I'm sitting down here today. I'm from Edo State, and my husband is from Nasarawa State. I think families just differ, and I don't understand why any family will be looking. For now, if they are Christians, I am wondering why they are looking at the tribe to judge people. And sometimes, some of these persons who are judging you because of your tribe, if they are given the opportunity, they will even do worse. But if the uncles are the ones giving you problem, what are the parents saying? I think we need to know where the parents stand, because the parents, there is their daughter that is getting married.
Exactly.
So I'm wondering why the uncles are making decision for their own daughter. Is it that the parents are late, or I don't understand? So I think we need to find out what the parents are saying, and the girl herself, where does she stand? Where does she's standing with you, or she's standing with her family? You need to sort that out. I don't know what Auntie has to say.
I would say that marriage is a family affair.
Yeah.
A young man can approach my daughter, and we can do the usual, which is what we do. We say, oh, go greet all the uncles. So we make them go greet all the uncles. But it is the young man's family and my family that have discussions.
Yeah.
So if it is your family and the bride's family having a discussions, uncles will have very little say, except if the father of the bride is also the younger brother of the bigger uncles.
Okay, you communicate the question to them. Okay, my name is David, calling from Kaduna, sir.
Oh,
okay, David.
Another call has come in.
Yeah,
yes,
we're
David.
listening.
Yeah, we're listening.
Okay, I just want to know what are your thoughts?
Yeah?
Go
ahead,
David. What are your thoughts about having a wedding without a reception?
David, there's nothing wrong with that. We've talked about that before.
We've talked about it before.
If
There's
that's what you want to
nothing
do,
wrong
please
with
go ahead.
Please.
David, there's nothing wrong. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with wedding without a reception.
I've seen a couple.
It's just, it's
Couples.
just
Are
you.
you
Not
saying
a couple. I've seen
a couple.
couples who have wedded without,
even in church now.
without a reception. So reception is not compulsory. The wedding is the most important. That church blessing that you get.
And
that
your
is the
marriage
most
that you
important.
continue
And the
after.
marriage that you continue after.
Please,
So
there's no problem
all
with that.
those reception things, it is a matter of choice.
And these are things you agree with your wife to be
yeah.
and the families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the issue of the uncles coming to make decision, I think there's a problem. We need to find out from the parents what their stance are.
Yeah.
So that you will
But
know
I kind of
before
get,
you even enter into that kind of family.
I kind of get his background. Maybe because maybe the Nupies are fairly like that too. But still, it will be a unified decision. It wouldn't be that the parents are saying yes and the uncles are saying no.
Yeah.
So what one of the ways we do is that we usually find somebody who is a mutual friend to
both
families, whom both families listen to. They should be scared to send a child far away. I get that, especially if they do not have relations around that place. But also this means that these are people whose Christian faith is in question.
Exactly.
So the first thing the young man needs to establish is that, are my own parents Christians? Will they also relate to my wife's parents as Christians? Will my wife's parents, are my wife's parents Christians? Will they also relate to my parents? And then if they are not Christians at all, then you can see why there will be difficulties that will arise. I can see why difficulties will arise, because if the father is a junior brother, you'll find a senior brother who says that my kingdom come, my will be done. But we're able to even deal with that wisely. Are you getting it? Like in the case of one of my children, the senior brother-in-law, who is the overall senior, came and said, this and this and this is what the custom dictates. But we were wiser. So we had told the mutual friend that all of us respected. I said, yes, tell him yes, oh, but this is what will happen. So when it came to nonsensical things like open the bride's box, we want to check whether everything is there, the respected person said, no, 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 you know, this is a Christian wedding. It is the people bringing a gift to their wife to be. Whatever they put in it is their gift. So it's always good to have somebody that both sides of the family respect. He can come in and do that. But I would imagine that if it is just a young man going from uncle to uncle, he'll be overpowered. He'll be overpowered.
Okay. So back to our wedding clothes.
Yeah.
So I think as Christians, as Mrs. Namu has raised that, we should, as you said, we should have had our value system, discussed what we want to achieve, why we're doing what we're doing. And part of the things that show that you're a Christian also includes what you wear.
Even your friends, it includes the type of friends you have.
Yes, what you wear, the kind of friends you have. So please, let's not keep dressing in ways that make pastors continue to complain. Sometimes they have to bring shawl for you in the church to cover yourself, cover your hair. You already know what the church expects. Why do you want to aggravate people all the time?
And then it makes some believers laugh at us.
Exactly.
We are Christians, see what they are wearing. See what they are
Good
wearing.
evening, sir.
Good evening.
I want to contribute to you.
Please, your name, please.
Your program. Evening. Yeah, thank you, Prof. I want to contribute. You see? Yeah, good evening, Prof.
Good evening.
Thank you. I said I want to contribute to your program.
Go ahead.
Tradition. Yeah, good evening, Prof. I am hearing you people loud and clear here.
Okay.
We can hear you too.
Okay. You see, tradition is everything in this our country. Just like the way you said, before you carry your wife, they will now begin to say you have to pay this and that. You understand? There's a situation whereby I saw the groom walking away and said, look, he's not going to wed again. Those people, the people of the bride, they have to follow him, beg him before maybe they get to town. And again, in the north, you understand? You will see that when one wants to marry, then the wife will be gathering all properties to take to the husband's house. Like as if, in fact, are they lazy in the north? At least the man is supposed to provide everything. But, and again, I've seen a situation whereby when the marriage got broken, you will see that the lady will pack everything that she got, and then the house will remain empty. The man will become so like as if, he's helpless. You see? So please.
We're hoping your marriages will not break.
Amen.
Amen.
No, in a situation of the north,
no, but also, just a minute. You know, sometimes we just wave off a segment of the country because we do not understand the history behind what they do. There's a history behind what they do. If you are going to marry into that part of the country, you need to study why they do what they do. That is when you and your wife can now take a Christian stand and say, based on the Bible, what should we do about this and about this, about this? I think we shouldn't just sit here and just castigate any part of the country that you do not understand. These rich cultural heritages, they have a history. Maybe they have some value. But we are saying here on this program that the Christian values are higher than every other one.
Yeah.
But suppose the people who are going to marry are Christians and their parents are not Christians. You still need their consent, and you still need to treat them as in-laws, which is why the first person who asked the question, I would say that, look, endear yourself to that family. The first time you go, they will not welcome you. But by the time you go 2-3 times and you actually behave like a son, whether you like it or not, they begin to like you.
Yeah.
They begin to like you. Relationships are cultivated, they are nurtured. So let's not just be thinking of, I want to carry my wife. Those uncles that don't like you, forever they are your uncles. Or they will be your uncles-in-law.
Yeah.
So let's build relationships. Let's build bridges.
Yeah, and it takes effort and deliberateness. You need to be deliberate.
We
about
need to
it
be
get it
connected.
work.
I think we're getting into too much isolation. Let's be connected in a healthy way.
Yeah. Okay, back to our clothes. The other thing too, yes, we've talked about clothes have to be decent. You can't be a Christian and be showing breasts, thighs, stomach, and all sorts of things. Please, I don't think that's good.
And it's not a competition. You are not competing with another
all.
person, and then I don't know where they're
Even
getting
the
this
issue of this
clothes.
bridal tray where somebody will have like 30 people on the bridal tray, and people will just wear all kinds of dresses they cannot control. What is it now? Is it what are you trying? What exactly are you trying
Then
to do?
it also reflects your choice of friends.
Yeah.
Because I typically think it is people who are dear to you that you want them
should
to
be
be
in the
part of
bridal
your
tray,
day.
yeah.
Sometimes they just choose people who can pay.
You can pay, exactly.
That's what they do.
Yes,
They are
that's
not-
what
they
they
are not
do.
really their friends.
They are not really
That's
their
people who
friends. They
can
can
pay
pay, and they don't
for
even
the
know
dress.
them. So on that day, some of the bridesmaid will appear, and the bride too is surprised to see the way the bridesmaid is dressing.
So
there's something
should
wrong.
choose.
Yeah.
You should choose your people carefully, and you don't have to have so many people on your
On
train.
your tray, yeah.
When I got married, it was just my sister. That was my
Me.
chief bridesmaid. That's all.
That's what
so
I did.
I didn't say that's the ideal,
Yeah.
but it worked for me. So you don't have to get the whole world involved. And then for the wedding dress too, same thing. Is you don't have to break a bank. And there's no rule that says it must be that huge white dress,
Imported.
whatever. You can wear anything for a wedding.
Anything
Really.
for your wedding, really.
You can wear anything.
Yeah.
Really. It
You
doesn't
know-
have to be that white dress
Yeah.
in quotes, which if it's what you want and what you can afford, yes. But if you can't, you can do a simple white dress if you must have a dress. There's somebody that married in church. They did lace. She just did lace up and down, which she could still wear.
Yeah,
and I
after
see she
the
still
wedding.
wears after the wedding. And the guy just did one of your Sunday school people. He did white agbada too. And you're healing yourself.
Yeah.
He did white agbada, so things that they could still
Wear.
use. So she just did skirt and blouse, and they looked nice. So, and it was a good wedding.
Yeah.
So I don't think people should break a bank. Don't know, Auntie, maybe you speak to that.
I think we should know that the chief guest at our wedding is the Lord Jesus.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, we act as though he's not seeing, but we're making those vows before him. He's the third strand. So I know that if the Lord Jesus is going to show up, everything I wear, I want to be there for him before other people. So I think not being conscious that the Lord is the first guest at that wedding, actually the owner of the wedding, makes us think that we can do. And then there's the other one that the people do. They wear a decent dress in the church,
After
then they get to the
church,
reception
hey,
and
God.
we don't know. We can't recognize the same person. They are
Then-
all two sides of the same coin.
Please. So sometimes I think maybe we don't recognize that Jesus is there. Or maybe we're not even interested
don't
in
think,
Jesus. Maybe we're just doing all this church thing maybe to please our parents or something. But I think anybody who really loves the Lord, please, dressing decently
And the kind of
is part of it.
music that you play.
Oh, just wait. Don't forget your children will pick your wedding albums one day and see them, or your wedding book. They will see it.
And you can't tell them to be decent while half of your
Look
body
at
was outside
what's
that day. Oh, that's another thing to remember.
The kind of
yeah.
music they play on the wedding ground, and the kind of dances that some of these girls dance.
But
You
is it only
wonder
the
whether
girls,
it's
what of the boys?
a disco.
But that's what they've been doing. You will not bring music that you have not been dancing to on your wedding day. You've been dancing to it. The dance styles and the moves, you've been doing it before. So it's not like it's the first time. So when they do those things, that's their natural behavior. That's what they're just showing us what they've been doing. Maybe we've been seeing them in church and say, oh, such a nice sister, such a nice brother.
On
That
the
wedding day, they will
you
show
know
us their real
person.
color. And then some of the songs, you know, I found out that there's this app that you could put on Shazam. It gives you lyrics. Once they start playing a song, just say Shazam it, you see. And many songs are terrible. Many of these secular songs are terrible.
They are very
I don't know
lewd.
why anybody
Very, very
lewd, immoral. I don't know why anybody wants to even dance
to that
to
kind
that.
of song.
Even for women, they are disrespectful to women. They objectify you
as a
sex object,
toy.
and you dance to it. I don't know. And then we say we're doing women rights, and
here you are.
Yes, and here
giving
you are
yourself away,
dancing to rubbish when they are talking nonsense about you. I don't know.
Another part of wedding that I have seen that used to baffle me is the one that parent turned the reception to a political arena.
I've gone for that type of wedding.
Hi, God.
It was a PDP rally.
It was.
I felt sorry for the bride.
Annoying.
I felt
the
sorry
parents
for the
just
bride.
takes over everything, and they will be calling all their political allies.
And then
they are the ones that are caught.
Bill for the wedding, and he that pays the piper.
So who foot the bill? The political
friends,
people or the parents?
Well, the parents and their friends. So they will run it like. I went for one many years ago. Even one of the political aspirants was there, and the people doing the gongo, they were now singing his name for president at the reception. I was just looking, and she was strong. She didn't cry. Like, wow. But apparently her father bankrolled the wedding. It was her father's money. So he and political allies, everybody on the high table were PDP people. Just a PDP rally. That's what it was.
So they were pretty much isolated, even though it was their marriage.
It was their wedding, but
it was about
you
PDP.
will see a lot
That
of girls, a lot of people are getting married. You are there. The bride and the groom are just sitting down. They don't even know what is going on. Their parents are running their affairs.
Can you see what we said earlier about financially being ready?
And no, I'm making up your mind, not just being financially ready, making up your mind to set boundaries for your wedding.
But you can only set boundaries if you are paying the bill.
No, what I mean is...
You cannot set boundaries if you don't have money.
What I mean is, no, it's not even about the money. You may have 20,000. You want to do a wedding of 20,000. But your parents want you to do a wedding of 100,000.
But
if you are able to say, Daddy, the wedding I want to do is 20,000, you are invited. If it's not going to be 20,000, please just leave us alone, please.
But that means the couple have to be on the same page.
That is what I'm
saying. With their parents too.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. No, you have to be nice. Yes, no, I'm not saying you should be.
And then
bad to
you should have also had a precedence in your father's house about the way
that
you
is
do
what
things.
I wanted to say.
And because if you've been caving in
anything they
to
say,
whatever they've been saying and doing, then suddenly you wake up one day and say, no, I want to do a Jesus honoring something. They believe like,
what is he saying?
What's that?
Yes, yeah.
What are you saying? Please.
I think that's where what Auntie was saying.
You should have set precedents. They should have known you in your father's house that you're a Jesus girl. It's not today. You've known you always. So even they can even predict how you would respond to every situation and what kind of wedding you would want. But if you've been doing what they want and suddenly you wake up one day and say you're a Jesus girl, you're a Jesus boy, they won't agree with you. They'll make life difficult for you. Okay.
But I also know that marriages are family things. So whereas the bride and the groom agree on many things, you must also sit and agree with parents. Like where we are coming from, it's traditional that the eve is the parents' feast for the bride and the groom. It's difficult for the bride and the groom. They do not host that one. It's the parents that are hosting it. Okay. But we're sitting down there and agreeing with them and saying, how do you want this feast to go? But we are the ones hosting it.
Because you have matured in that area.
But we ask them because it's really theirs. And then the following day when the wedding takes place, the bride's family hands off. Because now it is the parents receiving the bride on the other family side. But once again, you actively talk to the main participants. How do they? Because it's they that are bringing us together. It's not us bringing them together. So if young people will always remind parents that it's about
wedding.
us too.
Yeah, it's about
and
us.
then Jesus is the main host.
Thing,
I've heard parents tell their children that, look, this wedding is not your wedding, it's our wedding.
That's
So
very
don't, yeah,
wrong.
this
That's
is
very
your
wrong.
wedding.
It's our wedding, but
Yeah.
you are part of it because you are our parent. We won't take you out, but this is our wedding, and you know things should fall in place. You know, to a large extent, the way we want it. You can contribute, you can advise us, you can pray with us.
But you
can
see, it
give us
is
what
when
you
these
want.
people have proven to be responsible people
Like she
that
said,
conversation
yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
So it's not something you just
start in a day.
in a day.
Yeah,
It must
even
have
that
been a
of
lifestyle.
living, you don't. Maybe you shouldn't even wait until your wedding before you start saying, "I want to move." Before you know it, your parents will think it is the girl that is suggesting to you to move. But if they know that you are going, you have told them, "I'm moving out," or they may not be comfortable with it, but you have left. So that,
Yeah.
you know, it's not your girl or your boy that is making you to leave.
So they're asking us to wrap up. It's time.
Okay.
It's time to go. So we've been talking.
Where did the time go?
I
we don't
wonder.
know.
We're still talking about planning for wedding. Okay, well, we've been talking about planning for wedding, but planning for marriage is still coming in. Parents' relationship and what parents do. So thank you so much for viewers for being with us. Mrs. Namo, Professor Teresa Madu.
I
thank
hope
you.
she has piped down. She's not blowing
She
up.
still has a lot of things to still say. So I think we'll be here again and we'll still continue this conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you, viewers, for being with us. Please remember, I think what Professor Madu just said, that this wedding, your number one guest is Jesus.
Christ.
Your number one guest is Jesus. So whatever you do, make sure that you are honoring him in all the decisions and actions that you are taking. Number one, Jesus. And remember also, she said, your children will also look at your wedding album.
They will.
And your wedding videos. Don't do anything you'll be ashamed for your children to see. So, viewers, will be your way again next time, this same time at the Living Room Equa TV. So, we look forward to seeing you again. Please keep shining for Jesus.
You didn't thank the contributors.
Yes,
Yeah,
all
thank you
contributors.
very much.
Thank you for phoning in. David, Audu. I didn't get the name of the other guy who called.
yeah.
Please keep calling, keep contributing to this conversation. May the Lord bless us all.
Amen.
Bye.
Bye-bye.